SteelCity Scott, how we doing?
Miami Mike, we literally have never been better. We're rolling with the hot streak right now. As you can see, I'm taking a commanding lead. Back-to-back 11-1 weeks. Um, third time's a charm. We're going to go for 12-0 this week, and we're going to see
Look
if
at
we can
that.
keep the hot streak alive.
Look at that. That's unbelievable. 11-1 second week in a row. 22-2 over his last 2 weeks.
Let's
Ridiculous.
go.
Ridiculous. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time here. I'm just gonna. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let you start off with every game, and you give us all the breakdown that you can. We got to get this knowledge.
All right. Well, Thursday night football is what we're starting with. So Vikings Rams. Um, for me, this is a big fraud watch game for the Vikings. Um, they lost last week against a solid Lions team. So I'm not saying they're frauds yet, but if they lose to a struggling Rams team whose offense is ranked 23rd and their defense is ranked 26th, then they might be on fraud watch. Um, I believe Cup is coming back. I checked injury reports today. I did not see him on the injury report as of today. For me, how the Vikings win this game is Aaron Jones. He needs to control the ground game. They need to eat up the clock because the Rams can score. If Cup's back, they can make it happen. They can go down the field fast. Jefferson needs to perform. One thing to note, this is a O'Connell versus McVay matchup. So McVay's got, 7 head coaches in the league right now out of his coaching tree. And this is one of them. So you got to have that little head-to-head there as well. But give me Minnesota -3. I just don't think the Rams are there yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just can't trust this Rams defense. Vikings have one of the best rush defenses in the league, so they'll be able to slow down Kyron Williams. Pass defense is pretty the only thing that's kind of been suspect, if you want to call it that, for the Vikings defense. So I'm with you. I think if Cup's back, Stafford's going to be able to find success. However, I'm with you. I like the Vikings to get it done in this one. Keep that record going alive. But we talked about it last week. There's always these teams that start off super hot. For an example, like the Cardinals a couple years back went on an absolute tear. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins talked about MVP, and then they completely fell off after that, after starting super hot. They just had their bye week, the Vikings did here recently, so we'll see if they can kind of keep it going or not. But I think they do here, so I'm with you, Scott.
Yeah, it's not a bad play to be with me over the past 2 weeks. So I see what you're doing here. Um, all right, so Evelyn, Garrett,
Method
Dave, see you
method
guys
to
in
the
the chat.
madness.
Appreciate it. There is. So next game, your beloved Dolphins. So Cardinals at Miami. Um, I don't trust Miami at all. The Cardinals have lost 9 of the last 12 on the road, though. But they have playmakers. They have McBride. They have Harrison Jr. They have James Conner. And Kyler can still do on his feet, 55-yard rush touchdown last week. Miami is still in shambles. Is Tua going to play? It sounds like he might be playing. They've won. So Miami have won 8 of the last 12. Well, maybe not this game. But he's going to play at some point in the season, which is crazy to me. Um, they've won 8 of the last 12 at home, but Miami's 1-5 against the spread this season. So for me, I'm going to go with the team that's loaded with playmakers, can score points, and they've done it pretty much consistently, and that's the Cardinals. I like a Arizona kind of 28, Miami 18 game here. I like 6 field goals for Miami personally, but give me Arizona on the road +3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one too, dude. Cardinals +3.5. Dolphins are on their fourth string quarterback now. Tyler Huntley's hurt, so Boyle's supposed to be getting the start. Last week, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle each had 1 catch. They each had 2 targets each. Two best
I,
players on that offense, and you're not finding a way to get them the ball. That's not good. So something's got to change. I don't even know if it's going to change with Tua back. I think this season is a wash. I think it's a waste. I think it's time to regroup and figure some things out. But Yeah, I'm with you. Cardinals plus 3.5, I think, is a gift. So I'm all over
Hey,
it.
be careful. You got players like Tyreek Hill, Waddle. If they're not liking what's happening and Kansas City calls Tyreek Hill, there's a chance that something could happen. I mean, I know he just signed a deal with Miami, but there's
I mean, I
always
wouldn't
ways to get
blame
out.
him. I wouldn't
Yep.
blame him. They just went and got D Hop though, DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
That's going to be big time.
that's going to be big time. Also, if Cup makes his way to the Pittsburgh, that'd be great too. I just like the rumor mill at this point. All the receivers are always rumored to go to Pittsburgh, and we're not going to get anyone. All right, moving on. Next game is Packers at the Jags. Jags are off a big win in London. Packers are off a last-second field goal, walk-off field goal win against a good Texans team at home. Close game there. Um, Love looks great. Reed, Josh Jacobs, they're producing every week. They're starting to get, Kraft, their tight end, involved more up there in Green Bay. I like the Jags to score against the Packers. I like the Packers to score against the Jags. There's no way the Packers lose this game, but something just doesn't feel right to me. So I'm going to take the over at 49.5, but I'm expecting a Green Bay 35, Jaguars 24 type game.
Yeah, I'm on the Packers. I'm on the Packers minus the 4. I think they'll get the cover. Look, the Packers are not the Patriots. So the Jags may have looked decent last week in London against this New England team. New England went over to London on a short week. Jags had already been there for a week, week and a half. So yeah, they looked great. Don't get me wrong. Now they're back on U.S. soil where they have not had so much success. Trevor Lawrence specifically, his stats as a starting quarterback are absolutely atrocious. Crazy to me that he got the check that he did. Doug Peterson is on the hot seat. I think this may be the game where they may make some changes after this one. I think the Packers go into Jacksonville and handle Jacksonville pretty well here. So I'm on Green Bay to get it done.
All right, next up we got the Saints versus the Chargers. The Saints are making the long trip over to the West Coast. Chargers are back at home. I don't hate the Chargers at home, again, especially if it's going to be against like a Spencer Rattler versus a Herbie kind of thing. I'm going to go with Herbert 10 times out of 10 there. The Chargers have lost 6 of their last 7 home games, though, so not the best record there, but I do like them to turn it around here. I want the Chargers minus 7. The only thing that gets me here is 7's a decent amount of points. When you're considering a team that's lacking wide receiver options, they have J.K. Dobbins, and that's pretty much all they have going for them. Lance is on the injured list right now, limited participant in practice. He'll probably play, but still, they just don't have a lot of weapons offensively right now. I feel bad for Herbie. If the Saints can stop the rush attack, that's what scares me, because if they can stop J.K. Dobbins, then I think this is a very low-scoring, close game. That's where 7 points scares me. But the Saints were the frauds of the year so far. I don't like the direction they're heading, so give me the Chargers minus 7 at home. And this one's kind of a fingers crossed they can get it figured out.
Yeah, I'm with you. Chargers minus 7. Saints are the frauds of the year after those 2 first games, put up 40 both games, absolutely looked great. Their defense specifically has not looked great. That was kind of like their main focus point this year. Focal point, they were going to fall back on that defense, and they have not been able to do it. So I'm going to go with the better. I'm going with the better quarterback. I'm going with the better head coach. I'm going with the better defense. At home, give me the Chargers to get it done, get the cover. I think it is going to be low scoring. I'm with you. Could even be like a 24-10, 24-7 type game, but I think the Chargers get the cover all day.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn this game on. It's probably going to be the one that's televised for free for everyone, because that's what the NFL likes to do, but I would not turn this game on if you have the option. Moving on, so now we're going to go to a division game, a big division game, and honestly, we can talk about what happened last week
Ugly.
On Monday Night Football. So it's Falcons at the Bucs. I do think the Falcons are getting better week over week. It's a big matchup. Both teams are coming off, tough losses. Tampa Bay got so they got destroyed by the Ravens. They got exposed by the Ravens. They got trash time touchdowns to get the score a little closer. But the biggest thing is they lost Evans. He tweaked his hamstring again. And then Godwin's out for the year. He broke his leg. That's two of your biggest playmakers. And what the Bucs have going for them right now is their ability to score points. With the injuries, I just do not see Tampa Bay being productive. I like Atlanta 28, Tampa Bay, 12 or 14 here. The Falcons are just they can be good. They can have games like they had last week. I think they're going to bounce back, though. Big game for Atlanta. Give me Falcons -2.5.
Yeah, I'm with you in this one too. The injuries are the biggest thing for me. This line has seen a massive swing. It's opened at Tampa Bay -3. You mentioned it. It's now Falcons -2.5. That is a massive swing in NFL. It's for a reason. I'm on the Falcons here. Kirko Chains, I should say, said it best. They enjoy these away games. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Quoting Mr. Kirk Cousins in an interview. I fully expect them to do the same thing here in Tampa, so I'm with you. It's a bounce back for them. They need this one in terms of this division race too, so I'm with you. Give me the Falcons to get it done.
Yeah, not good for my future bet because I had the Bucs in the division to win for my future, and now that they've lost their offensive weapons, that's probably going away. But we'll see what happens. Be an
uphill climb, yeah.
All right, next game. I actually love this matchup. It's Philly at Cincy. Both teams are strong right now, improving week over week. For me, last week, as I mentioned, Philly dominated on the shoulders of Saquon.
Yep.
Philly's averaging 167 yards per game right now, and A.J. Brown is back. Hurts is doing Hurts things. Cincinnati, however, has lost 3 straight at home. Joey B is completing roughly 70% of his passes this season, and Chase and Higgins are starting to become a solid 1-2 punch for them. They're up and running. I like Cincy at home here. I want Cincy money line. I think Burrow's going to have a lights out game. They're going to win their first home game of the year. I think this is just one of those games where afterwards you look and you're like, man, is Philly actually good? Are they an actual contender? I do think Barkley's going to get in the end zone, but I like Cincy here through the air to score faster than Philadelphia and force them to pass the ball.
Yeah. I think this is a must-win game for both teams. You got Philly in a tight race with the Commanders right now. Jaden Daniels just went down with a rib injury. Not sure if he's going to play this week or not. So they really need to capitalize after they've kind of had a bumpy road to start this season. If they win this game, Jaden Daniels doesn't go for the Commanders. You got Marcus Mariota in there as his backup. If they lose that game, Philly takes that spot. Now they're in the front driver's seat. Bengals on the other side, everybody knows how bad of a start they've had this year. It's kind of the same old story with the Bengals year in and year out. They start rough and then they make a playoff push. This is no different than that. They're sitting at 3-4 right now. You got Pittsburgh, you got the Ravens in that division. This is one that they have to have, especially against a struggling Eagles team who struggled on defense. They've struggled on offense. There's been talk of a disconnect between the quarterback and the head coach. So this is one that they got to capitalize on as well. I'm going to go with the over here. I think there's going to be points. I think Joe Burrow is going to be able to have success against that Eagles defense. I think Jalen Hurts and mainly Saquon are going to be able to find success against that Bengals defense as well. So I like the over 47.5 in this one, and that is what I'm going to rock with. I can't. These teams are a little bit too volatile for me to really pick a side just yet. So.
Yeah, no, I get that. I actually like the over too, but I'm trusting in Cincinnati. Caleb, CU, yes, representing Valdosta State, undefeated, number 2 in division football right now. We're looking good. All right, next up is the Jets versus the Patriots. This is my turn of the week. Look, I was not expecting for my boys to do what they did to the Jets last week offensively. I expected that defensive performance. I did not expect to put up over 30 points, but we did. So I'm, very excited about that. We'll get more into that. But For the Jets, I think this is a must-win, 100% win game for the Jets, or they're dead. If they don't win this game against a sorry New England team, they're dead, in my opinion.
I agree.
Look, New England is traveling from London. They got to deal with that too. And if you lose this game with all the factors New England has against them, it's over for the Jets. It's going to be just carnage in the media in New York. New England, no team has offensive production. Look, Devontae, he might be more productive. He had an extra week with the team. Rodgers needs to be Rodgers. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, they need to dominate on the ground. I do like the Jets, however, to win this game because I'm believing that they have to. Otherwise, the team's irrelevant. So I like the Jets in a game like 28, New England 7. So for me, I'm going to take the under here because I don't trust either offense. And that is under 40.5.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned it. This is a must-win for the Jets. They're sitting at 2-5. If they want any chance of salvaging this season whatsoever, they got to go on a nice little win streak here, and they can start it right here with the perfect opportunity against a team that, relatively speaking, has given the Jets fits historically. But Bill Belichick is gone, and so is Tom Brady. So those two things are pretty much, I believe, the thorn that was in the Jets' side. Now's their time to establish their dominance, take over this rivalry. I think they do it here. Give me the Jets -7. Another full week of practice with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. They're building that chemistry back, getting it flowing. You know, you got Aaron and every one of his friends now in the NFL, it seems, on that offense. So they got to do something. They got to get it going. I think they do, and they should handle New England here. So I'm with you, Scott. But I do like that
100%.
under. I think that's got some high quality potential as well.
Yeah, 100%. See ya, Butts. I see Glizzy's in the chat from Mr. Butts. All right, let's move on. We got Bills and Seahawks here. Bills are traveling to Seattle. Tough stadium to play in for a team that's not used to having crazy fans. The Bills have Bills Mafia. It's no shocker to them. Both these teams can score. Both these teams can put up – last week they both put up 34 points. The Bills have Cook. They've got Keon Kincaid starting to be productive. The Saints have DK. They have Kenneth Walker. Look, I like a shootout here. I think this is a shootout game. I think the Bills take it, but I'm going to take the over at 46.5. In the home of the 12th man, the Bills are going to take the win, but I like a 42-35 type game.
All right. I got the Bills. Josh Allen is undefeated, Scott, against the Seahawks. 4-0. 4-0. Okay? He's got the NFC West number. You mentioned it. I don't think the 12th man is going to throw them off at all. They're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to keep it on the ground. Maybe a Josh Allen anytime touchdown, perhaps, in this one.
I don't hate it.
I'm kind of worried about Kenneth Walker and just the overall health of this Seahawks team. Their defense has been extremely banged up. So I am going to take the Bills' money line on this one.
I don't hate it. I see you, Butts. Butts is asking who the better bird is. We'll get there. We will get there. It's coming up.
The better bird. The better bird.
Hey, this is the better bird right here. Right here. Next up, we're moving on. Chiefs versus the Raiders in Las Vegas. Look, guys, I know Drinkwine was adamant last week. I tried to tell you, you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. You just don't do it right now. It doesn't matter if they don't have playmakers.
I know you did not just bring it up and throw that at me like I didn't take the Chiefs. See, that's the worst part about last week, all right? I went 6-6, and at least two of my picks, by the end of the week, I flip-flopped on, and I went the other way, and I hit them. But so that's why, you live and you learn. We're recording these Wednesday night, so there's still a lot of time for injury reports and whatnot. Yep. Sometimes these picks do change. Unfortunately for the show, they did not. But yeah, continue about the pick of your Chiefs last week.
They find ways to win. Grandpa Hunt looks incredible in the field. I'm not talking about the owners. I'm talking about the player. Look, the key is Kansas City's defense is playing lights out right now. They are a top 5 defense in the league. They're playing very well. Minshew is back in the starting role for the Raiders. He has not been a fantastic quarterback this year. He's not putting up crazy numbers, and he is going to play a very tough Kansas City defense. I think they're going to eat him alive. And for that reason, look, 10 points, 10 points is terrifying. 10 points is a lot of points. I don't care who's playing, but I like Kansas City to absolutely mop the Raiders in the Death Star. Give me the Chiefs minus 10.
I'm with you again. If there's any team in the league right now that I'm comfortable laying 10 points with, it's the Chiefs. And if there's any team that I'm comfortable with laying 10 points against, it's the Raiders. So, Perfect combo. The stars have aligned. Give me the Chiefs to cover the 10 as well.
All right, on to the next one. So this one for me is I like this to be a really sneaky game. So it's Colts versus Texans.
So sneaky.
It's a big division game. This is a game where the Texans should go in, handle business, no questions asked. But I said at the beginning of the year, the Colts are sneaky. They're always sitting back there in the shadows, ready to jump out. And look, I know they won 16-10 last week. They're not getting wins against great teams, right? That was against Miami. But their offense is averaging 22 points, which, again, if you look at it, they're scoring more points with Flacco from an air passing position.
Flacco.
But they're also allowing 21 points per game. Their defense is ranked 12th right now, the Colts. They're playing well. Texans' offense is ranked 14th. They have a much higher ceiling than they've been performing, in my opinion. They have potential to be a top 5 offense, in my opinion, the playmakers they have. Look, Jonathan Taylor's back. He was limited participant in practice today. He's going to play on Sunday unless something happens and he aggravates the injury. For that reason, well, I love the Colts at +5, but I don't trust them yet. Fully trust them. So I'm going to go with the over 45.5 because I do think both teams are going to score some points. The Colts defense is strong right now, but the Texans have so many weapons, they will score. I kind of like a game similar to last week with the Texans and the Packers, something that's like a 24-22 type game. And then I'm hoping for just an extra field goal to get us to the over.
All right. I got some numbers for you here, Scott.
Let me ask
you this. First, let me ask you this. In this series between the Texans and the Colts, who do you think has the better record?
The
all
Colts.
Time. You would be correct. The Colts, these teams have played 46 times. The Colts have won 33 of them.
Sneaky.
They are 33-12-1 against the Texans. However, in the last 4 games, dating back to last year, Texans are 3-1 against the Colts. All right. However, the Colts have not won in Houston since 2019. The last time they won in Houston before that was 2016. It's very rare that the Colts actually go down to Houston and have success.
Interesting.
But I don't like this line one bit. The line doesn't make sense. I think this one's more like 7.5, or it should be for the Texans. So for that reason, I'm gonna follow the sneakiness of the Colts. DeForest Buckner is getting activated off the IR for the Colts, so that's big for them up front. Give me the Colts +5. The only thing that I'm really worried about is Anthony Richardson and his ability to hold on to the football, to not make stupid throws, stupid decisions, force the ball, try to play hero ball. His completion rate is terrible this year. His turnover rate is terrible this year. Where on the flip side, you mentioned it, Joe Flacco, absolutely tearing it up when he's been in the game so far this year. So I hope that if Anthony Richardson does show any signs of struggle, that the coaching staff of the Colts makes that decision quickly to put Flacco in. But I'm with you. I think the Colts find a way to get this done. I kind of like them to go in and win it outright, to be honest.
Yeah, so do I. This is one of those games where the Colts win, and you're like, how'd the Colts win this game? But they just do it. They do it once or twice a year.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. We have the Titans in the land of the kneecaps. Detroit Lions. Look, I already said the word. All you have to say is kneecaps here. That's it. That's all that matters. Look, the kneecaps are playing either Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. And I can tell you something. Neither of those quarterbacks are going to get it done in the NFL. The Titans defense gave up 34 points previous week. The Lions have a much better offense than the Bills, in my opinion. Right now, they are running on all cylinders. Everything's working for them. They're having fun. They're playing backyard football in the NFL. It's great. It's simple. Lions have better coaches, better playmakers. Lions by a billion here. But he's in the chat. Mr. Butts, he put a glizzy in the chat, and he taught me, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I mentioned it. He said, Scott, I am a Lions fan through and through, but these type of games are the games where the Lions do not show up and they are not the Lions and they lose it at the end. And he said, I've been watching it my entire life. And for that reason, I'm not going to take the Lions here. I'm going to take the over 44.5, which I think is going to hit before halftime. But the Lions should win this game easily. But I'm gonna roll with the knowledge given to me by a veteran of watching the Lions lose the game by 3 at the end, and I'm gonna take the over.
I'm with you. I could see this one definitely hitting the over. However, I am gonna take that chance, and I'm gonna back those ugly ass Tennessee Titans. Plus the 11 to go into Detroit, catch them slipping. This is a trap game for the Lions. They had a division game last week against the Vikings. Guess what? They play the Packers next week. Another division game, top of the division. This is the best division in football. They're not going to give Tennessee, I think. Well, you know what? Having said that, if any team is going to not look ahead to another, it's going to be the biting and fighting kneecaps of Dan Campbell. But I'm also going with the fact of the numbers game, okay? This is the first time that we've had multiple double-digit favorites in a week all season long. Typically, when there's multiple double-digit favorites in a week, it usually hits about 65% of the time. There's 3 of them this week. You got the Lions minus 11 against the Titans, the Chiefs minus 10 against the Raiders, and the Broncos minus 10 against the Panthers. I think the Broncos cover against the Panthers because the Panthers are garbage. And I think the Chiefs cover against the Raiders because the Raiders are garbage. And Antonio Pierce has already lost his team, which is incredible because he doesn't know what to do on offense, and it's totally apparent. Leaving the terrible Tennessee Titans and that Will Levis, Mason Rudolph-led offense. I think if Will Levis plays, Titans don't stand a chance. Mason Rudolph's got to get it. Just like Joe Flacco for the Colts, it's got to be Mason Rudolph. He understands that he's got experience. He was with a terrible Steelers offensive line. He got absolutely destroyed, including by Myles Garrett with a helmet that we all remember and love. Well, I shouldn't say love. I'm sorry. Give me the Titans to get the cover here. I think they shocked the world. I think you're right. This is one where it doesn't make any sense. The Lions just look great. Game-winning field goal last week. Guess what? Game-winning field goal against them this week. Titans, get it done. Scott, what are you going to say?
Look, I get your statistics, 60%. Look, Butts is upset in the chat right now. By the way, he's fuming. But I get what you're saying. I like the Panthers to cover against the Broncos. That's going to be like whoever can kick the most field goal game, in my opinion. So I actually like that cover, and I like this cover. But then again, that's why I'm going with the over because I just smell something fishy here. The Lions should win this game by 30 points, but it's just, I don't know. You look at it and you keep looking at it and you're like, I can't. 11 points, I can't do it. I don't know why I can't do it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I'm taking it. I'm taking that plunge. I'm jumping in. Oh, geez. All right. Well, let's put it up. Let's put it up.
Look, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it to the last game of the evening. and it's the best game of the evening, in my opinion. The boys are 5-2. Just so everyone knows, I only have to win one more game for the rest of the season, and I will hit my bet with Drink Wine. He had the Steelers at under 5.5 wins this season. I like my odds; they're great right now. The cash out would be available for me. But here's what I like. I'm going to say this.
There's no cash
You
out.
had me in the first quarter. I'm not going to lie, but I see you, Russ. I see you, Russ. Look, in the end, you got to trust Tomlin's decision. I think I don't know if I said in the show, but I definitely said it to others outside the show. I said if Tomlin starts Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, it's a bad coaching decision because Fields was 4-2. He has not made any major mistakes. Offense not that productive. I understand. Stand corrected. That's why he's a head coach in the National Football League for one of the most storied, teams in the league. We only had 3 coaches in our entire existence. So I get it. He knows what he's doing. Russell did not play horrible. 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground. First quarter was bad, but he figured it out. Najee is looking good over the last 2 weeks. Calvin Austin's getting involved late in these games. The last 2 or 3 games, he's made a massive catch to keep the drive going late in the fourth. Pickens is a dog. Feed him the ball, and Russell might be able to do that more experience. Steelers defense balling out. We're 8th in total defense, 2nd in scoring defense. Look, they're coming to us. They are not a good team. I could see us shutting them out, maybe 1 field goal late. I don't hate Giants under 3.5 as a team total. But on the road, at home, towels waving, Renegade playing. I like a Steelers 28, Giants 12 game. Look, I'm excited, so 28 might be a reach. I'm pumped. I'm excited. But I will say one thing. I got the Steelers minus 6.5. I think this is the first time in my life I've taken the Steelers over 4 points. But I love the Steelers minus 6.5 at home. I am slightly terrified, though, because just like the Lions and the Titans, it's the same kind of game when I look at it on paper. The Steelers love to play a Jets defense and put up 30-plus points that we shouldn't have scored, and then play a Giants team that has an okay defense but can't score points, and then we get down early 2 scores. And I'm like, what is going on? What are we doing? Happens all the time. But I'm going to trust in the boys. I'm going to trust in the Steelers right now. I'm going to trust in Russ as long as he doesn't say cringy things at the end of the game. Steelers minus 6.5.
Yeah, that's impossible. He's going to say all sorts of cringy things.
Dude,
It's
just walk
Mr.
out.
Unlimited you're talking about here. I'm with you, though. Steelers minus 6.5. That's the play. I just don't see the Giants really having too much success on offense. I think the Steelers will have enough success. Chris Boswell will probably have 5 or 6 field goals in this game. So, yeah, I'm with you. Steelers minus 6.5. Monday Night Football prime time. Do not fade Tomlin and the Steelers.
Don't fade them. Monday night. I said the stat last week that we've won 21 consecutive Monday night football games. We are clutch in prime time. Clutch in prime time.
It's true. It's true. All right, throwing up the recap. Scott, anything you want to shout out, send off before we sign off?
I'm a little disgusted in what Butts just put in the chat, which was Steelers country. Let's ride. That's gross. He left that in Denver, okay? His thing now is Steelers, let's get 7 maybe or something dumb like that. Just play football. Just leave the interview. No, I don't have anything else to say. I have a weird feeling that I'm going to go 10-2 this week. It's just, a little less productive for me this week at 10-2.
A little less productive. I mean, hey, I think we'll still take that every week.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's all I got. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate everyone watching this rise to the top from me. I'm taking a commanding lead.
It's a beautiful sight.
It's great. I'm gonna ride the wave while I can. You have to. When you're on the wave, you got to ride the wave. There's no point not to gloat.
No point not to gloat. I mean, yeah, you're more than welcome to gloat. After that, 22-2, that's ridiculous. You can gloat all you want. I should find a way to put the graphic on the. If you do it again, we gotta just put it across your forehead maybe for next week or something.
Oh yeah, just a huge thing across my picture.
Just massive, yeah.
Yeah, 33-3, just massive, right there.
I mean, we might as well do that with your record. We should bump that up, and we should make mine just disappear. We should make it real small.
It's pretty good. What's the Thursday night sure thing is what Mr. Butts wants to know. So Thursday night is who's that? Vikings.
Vikings at the Rams.
That's right. Sure thing Thursday night. The two things that come to my mind are I like Aaron Jones anytime. And I like Kyren Williams over 100 yards rushing and receiving. I love that. I've loved that prop bet all year.
All right, I'm gonna give you one. Let me get Tutu Atwell.
Ooh. What do you want to do with him? You just want him?
Well, I wonder what his receiving line is at. I would say like over 55, over 60 with Tutu, if it's around there.
Here, give me a second. I'll pull it up. But I bet his minus like 130 is probably like 50. 50 yards is my guess. Wonder what Cubs is at. What are they going to have him this week?
I don't think he's going to play, especially with trade rumors. I don't think they play him. Because if he gets hurt again, that potential trade that they would have had trade value is out the window.
Yeah, so Cup's at 70 and Tutu Atwell. Ooh. So he's minus 290 at 25 yards and plus 100 at 40.
What?
Yeah.
What is he at 50?
It's probably plus 170. It's probably because Cup's going to play, is what they're assuming, right? That he's going to have less production. 60 yards is plus 280 and 70 is plus
I'm all over that 40. That's getting written down. You may have to do little something before you head out for the elk hunt, brother.
Yeah, wish me and Mr. Butts some luck. We're heading up to hunt elk tomorrow. I might be out for next week's show. Hopefully we can get it done and I'm back in time. But yeah, I've already locked in that bet, by the way. I just put it in.
What, the 2-2?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna do that. All right. Appreciate everybody for watching. As always, thank you again. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next week. Scott, again on a 22-2 tear, super hot streak.
Let's go. Ride the wave. Ride the wave.